a real escalation in the last 48 hours. How do we read the latest announcements and that Israel are looking to once again redeploy ground troops back into the Gaza Strip, and also more crucially on that Netzarim corridor, which was one of the key conditions of phase one part of the ceasefire?
Well, the Israelis made clear that they would be employing phased, increased military pressure against Hamas in what Israel says is designed to bring Hamas back to the negotiating table on terms more favorable to Israel when it comes to future hostage releases by the Palestinian group. So it began with airstrikes 3 days ago. Now we've seen measured incursions on the ground. It's worth remembering that Israeli troops and tanks never actually left the Gaza Strip during the truce that expired some 3 weeks ago. They had put peripheral positions along a de facto buffer zone inside Gaza's borders with Israel and Egypt. So what they're effectively doing is moving away from that buffer zone further into the Gazan interior. And you mentioned the Netzarim corridor. This would appear to be an attempt by Israel to reassert control over a corridor that effectively isolates the top quarter of the Gaza Strip, what has been ground zero of this war, and that might allow the Israelis to exercise control over the civilian population there, possibly even start administering food and humanitarian aid there eventually in a bid to fully replace Hamas's governance system and destroy Hamas eventually.
Yeah, but this is all coinciding with so many other developments in the region as well. Reports this morning that the Houthis sent a ballistic missile directed towards the Tel Aviv airport, Ben Gurion, that it was intercepted. What do we know about this missile, or attempted missile strike, I should say, Dan?
Well, we know, and I can tell you this firsthand, at 4 a.m. sirens sounded across the country, including the Jerusalem periphery where I live, including Tel Aviv. The airport you mentioned is on the periphery of Tel Aviv, and that was a result of a ballistic missile launch from Yemen. To my knowledge, the Houthis have not yet formally claimed it, but it would be the Houthis. They are the only relevant power there capable of deploying such weaponry. And it was quite predictable because they've actually said now for weeks that they were willing to pitch back in this war in solidarity with Hamas, a fellow Iranian proxy, and in solidarity with the Gaza Strip, which has seen its aid imports cut by Israel as part of the Israeli pressure campaign to do with hostages. That missile was apparently intercepted safely, no damage, but definitely this will be have a disruptive effect on the Israeli discourse, with this one group 2,000 kilometers away showing that it's still in the fight, despite coming under a significant pummeling by U.S. forces since the weekend. So it would appear that the Americans, and President Trump has spoken about this, will be increasing their own pressure on the Houthis, with Trump saying that any such attack should be seen as an attack by Iran itself. So with this latest attack, the sirens sounding across central Israel, I expect there'll be simply more attacks on the Houthis by the Americans, perhaps even Israel joining in this time.